on K4CO Radio. And I'm breaking in because we have a very special guest in the studio today. Going to wait for our producer to give us a thumbs up, and then we are going to be on. But how about this heat? I absolutely hate it, but that's just me. It's going to be in the 90s in the weekend. Ugh, goodness gracious. Can the rain come back, please? All right. Got the thumbs up right here from our producers. So I am sitting here with a wonderful blues singer, songwriter, musician here, Mr. James Speiser. How's it going, James?
Oh, it's going great, man. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming in. I absolutely love it.
Go for about a year, but about that time, I saw some guys at a coffee shop and they were great musicians.
Second, you saw some guys playing on the street corner, and you're just like, I can do that. I'm going to do that. So
Well,
is that kind of how it started?
I tried it a few times and it didn't work.
Okay.
One time I called in sick to work and it was like a week or two later I was playing on the street and I made like $70 and I said, you know what? I know I can do this for a job. And I did forever. Even when it was 15 below zero, I was out there fighting people trying to take my tips.
Oh, man.
And I've been almost
Playing music, something like that, you're like, all right, here we go.
something positive.
Something positive, exactly. I really like that. So, when did you start playing guitar? I mean, has this been like a
Like I
love, a
started
passion?
music when I was really little. My mother was an opera singer,
Oh,
and right when she got some good something and a clarinet, and they were trying to steer me away from the snare drum.
That's
So I picked
understandable.
the clarinet,
Right.
And my mom used to call it killing the duck, and then she said, I remember the first time you played a song and whatever. So I played that for many years, but then when I was like 12 or 13, my brother-in-law had a guitar, and I was picking on it one night.
right.
And then
You got a lot of the theory.
my
Yeah.
stepdad was a guitar player,
Okay.
and he had a bunch of music books behind the couch on this table. And I got some of those books out, and one of them was Frederick Node's solo guitar playing, which teaches kind of from a classical background, which is some of what I learned in my other music.
Yeah.
So that's where I learned to read some music, and then there was some Beatles books and stuff in there. And my stepdad and my mom, they always listened to good music, Pink Floyd and all kinds of different stuff, John Prine and what have you, and classical music and whatever. So I grew up with a lot of good music.
You were raised on good music.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then, but what really influenced me was I saw guys, like I said, at the coffee shop and then playing on the street. But then I saw people in clubs. Denver has a rich history of blues and jazz.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw people in and that music, it really spoke to me. It made me crazy at first, what you call a blues puberty. It really made me crazy. And the musicians
Chapultepec
Yeah, man. I
closed
mean, I
down.
went to El Chapultepec. My best friend's dad was a mobster in North Denver, and he worked with Jerry Krantz and the Small Dones, whatever. But when we would go box in the back house, he was a great boxer, Tony Moreno, and his son Anthony. We would go back in the back there.
Right, exactly.
It was, there was Hito Larmer down there. So if you were a little skinny white boy like me, you had to have a knife in your pocket or something.
Of
Because they
course.
would mess with you. And I'd be standing by the back door because Jerry wouldn't let me in there. I wasn't old enough to get in there. But I would hear the music through the back door, and it was cold outside, right? And I would listen, and it spoke to me. And I remember the first time I went in El Chapultepec, and there was Billy Tolles in there. And he was a sax player and a singer of the highest, okay? Denver, we have the highest music.
Oh yeah.
Just like New York or New Orleans. Not as much, but quality.
Right.
So, anyways, I went in there, and Billy Tolles looked at me and he goes, crazy. And I don't know what he saw in me, but he saw something in me. And I'm not tooting my own horn. And then I saw the music in there, and it was hardcore jazz every night back then. So I used to go there all the time. I mean, my girl I'm with now, she plays tenor sax with me 24 years. The first date we went on, we went there.
That's awesome.
I love that place. I played
yeah.
100 shows there.
I was really sad to see that go.
It's
during,
sad, man.
a little bit of taste of what you're doing. So tell us what song are you going to play first?
Okay, the first one I'm going to play, it's called Red Wing Blackbird, and I've been writing this for a few years.
Okay.
COVID canceled all my shows. I bought a slide guitar and an acoustic, and I took my little cattle dog, a blue heeler, and we found a stump by the house, by this creek, which is pretty cool because we live in the city. But we sat there, didn't have any gigs, so I just sat there for a couple years and wrote music. And I went back to the beginning. I hadn't played acoustic music since I was 12 or whatever, when I first played guitar. And I'm 51. So I wrote all this music, and one of them, it's called Red Wing Blackbird, and it has words, but I'm not going to sing it.
Okay.
I'm just going to play the instrumental version because it's still growing. These songs grow over time. So I've been writing this for about 4 years now, and my girlfriend, she's Ojibwe, and they think that the red-winged blackbird, that's your ancestor. And I just saw one. I was going to my gig the other night, and I saw one flying. But over where I play, they sit on these cattails,
Bird, wonderful blues, Denver blues.
Almost two songs. If I start singing it, it changes it. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Lyrics can definitely have that effect and change exactly what
Well,
you're
that
doing.
part, that version is still growing. It's like not. I still have to develop that some more. You
Right.
know?
Nice. Where do you kind of, so you were talking about the Red Winged Blackbird that kind of visited you on your last performance. Where do you kind of get a lot of your inspiration for your songs?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
For a long time, or this or that or the other thing. But I'm only 51, but I've had a lot of experience. I lived on the street for over 10 years and had lots of troubles and whatever. Not any more than maybe some, but, you know, whatever. It's all relative. But so when I'm thinking, my best friend, he grew up 5 blocks from James Brown's house, and he learned for Bernard Odom. He's a great bass player and tuba player. He used to live here, and when we would hang out, we're like, oh, hey, that's a title for a song. That's a title for a song. And then finally, I started writing them down serious, right?
Yep.
And then I have them on my wall. And then a couple days ago, I was like, hey, I was talking with Todd. His name's Todd Edmonds. We were talking on the phone. We're like funk soul brothers. And we're talking, and I'm like, hey, man, like this. One of the songs is called El Chapultepec. And then one of the songs is called this and that, whatever. And I'm like, the titles I'm writing on this list now are things that happened to me, something that really speaks to me, like a musical, spiritual experience or whatever. I've had lots of different experiences. But so I take one of those titles and I'll start writing about it. And I'm a poet. I mean, I'm not active in any poet scene or anything, but kind of how I write songs is I write poetry and then I adapt it lyrically, and I'll be like, oh, okay, these changes go with this, or maybe this sounds kind of like this, and I'll try it different ways. Like, I'll try the lyrics with different kinds of songs, different kinds of rhythms, different kind of chord changes, and then sometimes you'll be like, hey,
This
it
actually
needs to go with this,
Right.
but it takes time. You can't rush it. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you get really jazzed on some caffeine or something, and you write a song and it comes out. But that's not the norm. So
Right.
anyway, I get my inspiration from my experiences, the ones that are really meaningful to me.
So very personal to you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, it's life and death, You got to practice music sometimes when you wake up, it's 5 in the morning, practice for 3 hours before you eat, before you drink any caffeine, then eat something, and then practice 5 more hours.
Right.
Make sure you take breaks for your arthritis, go take a walk, whatever. But it really is, And I used to write songs, like when I lived in Austin, Texas, and when I was coming back, I used to write songs and have all these disorganized papers and stuff, and I never believed in them. I didn't believe in myself. And I would take these papers and throw them away because it'd become a mess. And then one day something said, I'm never going to do that again. And I'm not saying I don't get rid of anything, because I do, but it's not the same. If I write a song, I give it a chance, and you got to give it a chance because it's not going to happen like that.
No, exactly.
It takes time and you got to grow it. It's like a plant.
Right.
But I take inspiration from, I see things in nature. A lot of people miss the beautiful things in nature, animals and stuff. And you need those things. And I'm a crazy person. If I don't get up and play some music, I can't cope with reality or life. So the catharsis I find in music and in beautiful things and expressing something that happened to me that's traumatic, that's a inspiration. Like something bad happened to you and you got to deal with it and I call it face the music.
You do.
You got to
exactly.
face what happened to you and deal with it. And how I do that is I write stuff down. And it's not always a song, but some of the best songs come from stuff like that. And sometimes you see something beautiful, or sometimes you knew a musician, or a place, travels. I take things from life experience, because that's real.
Right.
I lived it,
Right.
So I know it's not fake. you know. And you can make songs about funny things and this and that. You can make songs about anything.
You can. There's
But
a
I'm
lot
a
of fiction songs out there.
and
I
that's
mean,
great.
yeah.
And I do that too.
Right, right.
You know, but I digress.
Oh no, and so you generally do the music first, then, and then
No.
no, okay. So a lot of times you
It's
write.
weird, you know. Sometimes they're separate usually. Mm-hmm. But some songs I write together. Where I
lyrics
sing it
and
and
the
I play
music.
it together. Mm-hmm. Like I improvise it. When I played on the street as a kid, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Right.
But I had musical talent and some knowledge. I didn't know what I was playing then so much because I was looking at what guys played, and then I would use it and I would improvise with it and sing things on top of it.
Right.
So my style is very improvisational, but I learned you have to sit down and organize things and make forms. You can't just wing it all the time because you'll forget what you did. You
But the
have to form things.
Right, and the improvisational part of it is very big. I mean, is that one thing that kind of attracted you to the blues? I mean, the blues is kind of in my mind the
Like
staple
you say,
of everything.
you say blues, okay, and I say blues, and that's a big word, dog.
Yes.
That means a lot, and
All
it means
music came
different
from
things to different people.
Right.
Like my friend Todd, he's working with this dude Drink Small and the Preservation of Jazz Society from New York. They just did a show, and Drink Small blues, what he says is going to mean something different,
Right.
because he's played it 70 years, 80 years. 80 years he's played it. It's almost 100. His name is really Drink Small on his birth certificate. But this is what I'm saying. I'm a blues guy, but I'm a jazz guy too. And like what I just played, that's kind of like Americana. Because I got some backwards cousins in the Appalachian Mountains. And, you know, I love a lot of different kinds of music and Latin music and stuff. So I'm not just this or that or the other thing.
Right.
But yes, what you said is very true. Now I'm answering your question better. I was always attracted to the improvisational nature of blues.
Right.
Because I like to sit down and express myself. And you can't just read something off a page and express yourself. That doesn't satisfy me.
Not at all.
I mean, I love classical music and I play some and stuff. And then I play some things that are like classical, but I'm improvising. So I guess you can. But that's maybe composing or whatever. But yeah, man, I gotta like make things up and find new things and, you know.
Well, it's the best. I've always said it's the best form of therapy. Music is playing it, listening to it, everything that you just said. I've gone through all of this, and music is always, it's like a magnet to me, and I completely agree with that.
That's the truth of it. It's a language and it's a medicinal thing.
It is.
It's supposed to help you. Like I can wake up and I can't face anything, man, and I'll drink up yerba mate and sit in the park and practice some music. And I have a different head. Man.
Suddenly you're right
different
again.
person.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, things can still be bad. You know, people just died and whatever just happened. But, you know, and like you said about the improvisational nature, like, with blues and jazz, I don't know where I learned that, but a lot of guys do that. But George Benson is the most famous for it. Most known, but people will sing with the notes they play, right? And that's blues and jazz guys do that. It's an old technique, and young people sometimes they hear it and they think it's weird because they don't know what it is, and that's okay. You know, it's all good. Different strokes for different folks. But what I'm saying is, I can find things I would never play on the guitar because I'm singing with it.
Right.
It'll take me places outside where I get stuck, and the opposite. I wouldn't sing. It develops my voice in ways because I'm playing with these notes. It trains my voice too. So it's this, there's a dynamic there. And also improvisational. Like you tune your guitar with your improvisation and your music, you can tune into things. Like they say it's a universal language. Man, sometimes I'll be playing by the creek and I'll look in the water and I'll see the way the light diffracts the water, and then it looks like it's showing me something or telling me something. And I'm completely stone cold sober, and I'll look up, and there's a little yellow tanager bird looking down at me, And I didn't know it was up there. And I was trying so hard to play, right? But then I chilled out and I started playing quiet. And then I looked up and there was a bird up there. And it let me know it was there. And they talk to you with the music. And the breeze will answer you and things. It's heavy, man. You could talk to a star or something. I mean, you know, sure, I'm a crazy musician, but it's true. You could tune into those things with improvisation and whatever, you know. Music is my religion, you know.
Right. Oh, yeah. And I do want to get to another song,
Sure.
but I absolutely love talking about that. Let's do that actually right now.
You want to do a song?
Yeah, let's do a song. What's the next song that you want to share?
Okay, this one scares me a little bit, but I'm going to do it.
All right.
It's called Measles and Cocaine.
Measles and cocaine. I like it.
I never tried it. It almost
You
killed my
never
mom.
tried measles?
That's right. Because it almost killed my mom.
Okay,
like
yeah.
I told you, my mother, she was an opera singer. Right when she got contracts, she lost her hearing. Like 70% of her hearing. And she got her hearing back later, which was really weird.
She did. Okay.
Not all of it,
Right.
but a lot. And she couldn't tell what she was hearing. But anyways, my mom brought me here from Chicago when her and my dad split up. And so this song is kind of about that.
All right. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, James Speiser.
I was just a little boy. I was just a little boy from Florida, Illinois, with it. My folks lit up their separate wedding day, baby. And I have much to say, baby, 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 baby. When I love you, hear me up. Oh, that train horn passing by. But oh no, I didn't even cry. Didn't even cry. Mama took me everything to the south side of Chi-Town, baby, the barrio. Mama took me everything we had to the south side of Chi-Town, baby, Chicago. I rode took us to Rockies out west from the plains, baby. Said I loaded up our yellow bug, baby. With our said babe. What do you do when you're only two and you're the baby shoe? Car heater melted your baby shoes. Car heater melted your baby shoes. Mama took me everything we had to the south side of Chi-Town, baby, the Vardo. Truest instrument I'll always be your voice, babe. Measles and cocaine, babe, took her voice away. Measles and cocaine, took her voice away. Measles and cocaine, babe, took her voice away, baby. Measles and cocaine, dang, took her voice away, dang.
James Speiser right there, measles and cocaine. Yeah, I can. You definitely wrote that about your mom.
Yeah,
Right
man.
there, yeah, and you were pretty close to your mom when she growing up and everything, and she went through all of that.
Like I went with my mom and my sister. She stayed with my father. Mm-hmm. And we came to we went to Chicago and we were living in the hood in the South Side. I barely remember that because I was like 2. And then we came to the East Side in Denver, off of Colorado Boulevard, just a couple blocks south of Colfax. Mm-hmm. There used to be a school there called Gove Junior High. And my auntie, she had this big house. It was like 5 stories, 4 stories, and she rented out rooms. And my auntie, she dated Cat Stevens.
Nice.
So we lived in her basement, and then my mom met my stepdad, and we got a little duplex off of Lincoln or something. He used to work at Montgomery Ward's on South Broadway. But I was close to my mom, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, real close.
Real close. What about your father?
You know, my dad, I went and lived with him for a while when I was like 12, for about 9 months, and then I came back. I was a pretty bad kid. And I haven't really talked to him. I mean, I've talked to him a couple times on the phone since then, but we're just not really close, you know.
Okay.
So, but my stepfather, he raised me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you were pretty close with him.
I was.
Yeah.
I mean, he taught me a lot of stuff, man.
Mm-hmm. And he was a guitar player, so you grew up around music.
I did. I grew up with music,
which is amazing. Yeah. And did you ever? So your dad played guitar. You started playing guitar. Did you guys ever play together?
A little bit. You know, it got weird. See, because I was really good at music, and then my parents lost their music, and it became a thing. Like, the better I did at music, the more it was. They were like jealous of me or something. Mm-hmm. And my stepdad, it kind of started with this, that guitar book he had where it teaches you how to read the notes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Frederick Node's solo guitar playing. He was like, he wanted to learn how to read music. So I was teaching him one day, and I was just a little kid. And I think that rubbed him the wrong way. Because he did that once with me, but then after that, he was never the same with me. So we never I don't know. And when I practiced guitar, I had to practice outside on the porch, and it was kind of a schism there, you know. And a lot of that maybe was in my head, but no, it's not true. It was that way. So, you know, I'm glad they influenced me and, you know, showed me to do music as a kid.
Right.
But then they always tried to steer me away from it as a career, you know.
Was there somebody in your life that really pushed you towards the music, that really mentored you to
my uncle?
Your uncle? Okay.
He told me, he would always tell me, he would be like, okay, you graduated high school. He gave me a bunch of money, and he said, now make sure when you go to college you take a music class. And I didn't, because my parents, I was really good at mathematics. So they told me to study that, and when I went to college, which was very expensive, I studied that. But I should have studied music.
Right.
But it's okay. I mean, I went and kind of studied music my own way, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, a lot of people go to college, go to school, and what they're doing when, you know, they finally figure out what they want to do is nowhere near what they studied in college.
Sure.
But
And the guys I play with, a lot of them have masters in music or were the top of their class in Berkeley and stuff. And as far as jazz or something, I'll never get to their level. But, I'm a singer and then a guitar player.
right.
But I kind of interrupted, sorry.
No, that's fine. Actually, that's good. I want to talk a little bit about your band. For those of you watching, it's the website has actually been on the bottom here, rootsandrhythmband.com. And for those of you listening on the radio, definitely check it out, rootsandrhythmband.com. Tell us about the band. Tell us how that got together.
I will tell you that. Let me say one thing first so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Because I've done live music charities and organized them and performed in them and promoted them for about 30 years.
Okay.
Since I lived in Austin, Texas. And we're doing, Roots and Rhythm is doing a big show on the 21st for the Edgewater Music Festival, which is a nonprofit benefit for the homeless. They built a house one year. And they do a lot, and they've been doing it for years. And I remember when I played the first one, and I played the first one for free, and I had a bunch of CDs I had just made, and then there was a line of people. I was prepared to not make anything, and there was a line of people, and they bought everything I had. And I was like, I had all this money in my hands. But anyways, how did the band come together? I'll tell you. I was playing on the streets, and I got an early gig for myself at the Mercury Cafe.
The Merc.
And I was kind of shooting from the hip, man. I went and made some posters and photocopied them. And I was only giving them, I was playing, when I do my playing on the street, I would wait till someone was digging it. And I'd be like, hey, come to this concert, blah, 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 blah. And I went and got some other bands. And I said, hey, man, you might want to play this show, and maybe you'll get a gig there too. And one of the bands that came, there was a sax player in the band, and that's my girlfriend now. We've been together like 24 years. And there was the drummer in her band. He goes, hey, man, you should come to our band practice. We have like a jazz funk band called Rubber Bum. His name was Timmy.
Called what?
Rubber Bum. It's
Rubber
about the
Bum.
dog. Rub the dog's butt. Rubber Bum. And that's their secret. If you don't know that, then you don't know Rubber Bum. But anyway, so the band is, I don't know if it still exists. But anyway, it does. So I went to this thing, and I was living in a tent by the creek, man. And I went to this house in the east side on Bruce Randolph. God bless Daddy Bruce Randolph. The house was empty. And we went in the basement, the drummer, and I'm like, dude, what's up with this house? And he's like, I don't know, my roommates left me hanging. And I was like, so I started living there, okay? And then Jean started living there, my girlfriend. They call her Patty Melt. That's her stage name.
Patty
She
Melt.
played sax. And then me and her started playing together. And she was singing and playing guitar gigs back then, which she doesn't do anymore. And I would play some slide guitar with her and some harmonica. And then when I would do my songs, she would play some accordion or sax with me or whatever. She plays a bunch of instruments. But anyway, so we started playing together. And then at a certain point, we got serious. Like I was playing on the street, and I got attacked one time, and it broke my hand. And actually, I started that. But I was getting crazy from playing on the street. I thought people were starting trouble, and they weren't. So my band started from stopping playing on the street.
Okay.
And I said, I'm going to book gigs, and I know they're out there. And I found them. And I didn't even have people to play with yet. And I'm like, well, I guess we better get a bass player and a drummer. And we just got whoever we could at first, right? Mm-hmm. But little by little, our repertoire got better, and we hired better and better people. And then a couple times I couldn't find somebody. And I was like, maybe I could hire Mark Diamond, or like, I know all the best people, but I was scared to hire them. And that's where you learn the most. Mm-hmm. So, and I called one of these guys, Mark Diamond. He was like, sure, I'll do it. And I'm like, they don't care. It's a paying gig if they're off. So that's when we really started learning a lot, playing with the best people. And then we just got more and more gigs. I did the booking, and we got someone to film us and record us. Then a couple years later, we got him to film us and record us again. And then when I started a television program and a film series, I got them to film us as part of this film series. So we kept getting better promo and doing bigger things. And then we got to open for 4-time Grammy-winning singer Diane Reeves. Last year we did a big show for the Grammy Foundation with Lionel Young. That's who kind of schooled me to blues in Denver. And he's toured with the Rolling Stones and Stevie Wonder, people like that, you know. And when you do a gig with him, you forget. He's singing and playing next, you forget. Because I shed like a machine. And this guy, I'll never get that tall musically. But anyway, so both of us come from the streets, but I'm more from the streets. But Jean, she used to play her sax on the street corner and make it. And I used to make it doing that. And so we just kind of fell into it. And I was real scared of it at first. I would have like an anxiety attack just sitting in the corner of some stupid bar because I had it built up in my mind. But play thousands of gigs and you get past all that crap.
Right, exactly. And a lot of times it's one of the biggest things is just like, oh, I messed up on this little part. No one knows.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
You got to laugh at that.
Yeah,
and then you get more comfortable. But it
Exactly.
used to be like I was so tense that if anything was going to go wrong, you know. But that doesn't matter.
Right.
You're just supposed to get loose and communicate with them. And you learn that after a while, I guess.
And you can check it out, rootsandrhythmband.com. They have shows, and you guys are pretty booked and all over the place. And one place that you really play a lot at, you must like it a lot, Mississippi Boy Catfish and Ribs.
Oh, I was doing that. That's another man's gig.
Okay.
That's I was playing with Dana Singleton. He's a jazz sax player there.
Okay.
And they do a gig there on Sundays.
On Sundays.
Yeah, it's a cool place, man.
Nice.
It's in the Holly. That's the real old Denver.
Right. You heard at Edgewater Music Festival on June 21st. That's going to be at Citizens Park in Edgewater, Colorado. You can hear James Speiser play right there. Well, let's get on to another tune, shall we? What's next for us?
I'm going to do the title track off my last record, which is on Spotify. It's called Preach Them Blues.
Preach Them Blues. All right, what's this song about for you?
A friend of mine that passed away, Cherie Earl, Ricky Earl's wife. Ricky Earl's a badass blues man from Mississippi, and he lives in the east side, lives right by me. And I went and saw them play, and Cherise was singing this thing, heal my body, heal my soul. You know, they're black gospel people and blues people. But she was singing this song, and she kept singing that. And man, it inspired me. And I took that one tiny thing, and then I found this rhythm. So it's about the healing nature of blues. That's what it's about, really.
I like it. Ladies and gentlemen, James Speiser on K4CO.
I'm gonna preach them blues. I said I'm gonna pay them dues, baby. In them cheap ass thrift store shoes. I got my London fog, baby, and my two-tone Staces too. I miss the blues in the streets. Oh, today isn't its love. Didn't know they love where they love the blues. Hey, where they love the blues, just like they daughter. I said, heal my body, heal my soul. What you said about me, baby, no, don't make it so. I got my lovely bar, baby, and my two-tone Staces too. I underestimate the power of blues. Don't underestimate the power of the blues. Don't underestimate the power of the blues, baby. Don't you know it, baby? You got to get it today. Ain't you hip to the game? Don't have to treat it up, mate. It's your heart and your soul. Don't always do as you're told. It get nice who you are. Lay that nice shooting star. Lay that nice shooting star. Lay that nice shooting star. I'm gonna preach them blues. I said I'm gonna pay them dues, baby. In them cheap ass thrift store suits. Don't underestimate the power of the blues, baby. Don't underestimate the power of the blues. Don't underestimate the power of the blues, baby.
James Speiser, Preach Them Blues right there. And that song can be found on your EP, Preach Them Blues, the same title, correct?
Yeah, it's not an EP like the last one that went out. It should just be the regular record.
Okay.
Like we put out an EP before it was mastered and stuff, but it's been mastered. And that should be the only thing out there. I think I killed the other one, so.
Killed the other one, yeah. So this one
Because there
came
was
out
like
last
significant
year.
improvements to certain things.
Right.
Just mixing wise, whatever, you know.
It's amazing mixing and mastering that so many people don't realize the art of that.
And we only did it to whatever level. I mean, you can take it to like some heavyweight guys. And
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing what they can do, right?
Oh, it's insane. Exactly. That and when you're watching a live performance, the sound guy, no one ever thinks about that.
I do.
Yeah, well, we do.
Sure,
We're musicians.
Sure. You mean the audience?
Yeah, exactly. The
Yeah,
audience
there's
really,
heavyweight
unless you're a
going on.
musician and you've actually done the recording stuff and everything, you really don't think about it that much.
Yeah.
So check them out. That EP, or Preach Them Blues, it's a 6-song out there. That's on pretty much all streaming services out there. James Speiser, Denver blues guy. He's going to be playing at the Edgewater Music Festival. That's at Citizens Park on June 21st.
I'm doing a jazz gig the night before at Sage Speakeasy.
Sage Speakeasy, okay.
With Rodney Sauer on the piano,
Okay.
and Dan Miller on the trumpet and the saxophone. That'll be on the 20th in Loveland at Sage Speakeasy. It's a Gatsby party, so we're going to do some like 20s and some Dixieland, and then a little bit more modern jazz stuff too. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Nice.
That's a roots and rhythm swing trio band.
And when
So it's
is
a little
that?
different than what I normally do.
When is that? What time
let's
going
check.
on that? So it's
I think
Sage
it's 7
Speakeasy and
o'clock,
Lounge up in Loveland. And
I should know the time of my gig. Yeah, it's 7 to 10.
7 to 10, okay. And
Cool place, man.
the Edgewater
Really good food.
Music Festival. Now that's kind of an all-day thing, 2 p.m.
It
to
is.
10 p.m.
Oh yeah, there's lots of bands. They're going to auction off a free Harley Davidson that they've had for years.
Nice.
That's kind of their, not mascot, but whatever you call it. You know, that has your logo and stuff on it when you have a car. out front of your restaurant or something. It's not a restaurant, but those guys, they've been doing something for the homeless for years and many years. They're awesome people.
And
Ranger Miller and Sam Miller.
I wanted to get into that too, because you like playing a lot of festivals that that really help out the community. You really like nonprofits, which I absolutely love, because here we absolutely love nonprofits.
Sure.
And
that's important to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. So let us know what got you into it.
I'll tell you, when I lived in Austin, Texas, I moved down there. I was in a lot of trouble, and I had to get away from it.
In Austin? Okay.
No, in Denver.
In Denver, okay.
I'm from here. Mm-hmm. And anyways, when I lived in Texas, I was walking by this old Presbyterian church one time. And then I was about to lose my place to live, and I was living with a dude. Yeah, I can say it. I had a problem with smoking pot. My parents smoked pot with me when I was 4 years old. And I had a problem with it, man. And my roommate was doing that, and I did not want to live there and be around that. Mm-hmm. Back then, I couldn't deal with that stuff. And so I was walking by this church, and I was like, man, I just wanted to take care of this place and have a safe place to live. And I just said a little prayer, and then I was walking by there a couple days later, and I was sitting there, and something said, somebody's going to drive up. I want you to talk to him. And this little blue car drove up, and it was kind of comical. And this gigantic, tall man got out of there with white hair, and his name was Don Bob, and he was the minister of this little kind of country church. And I met him and talked to him and blah, blah, blah. And I just told him my whole life story. I was real honest with him. And he goes, well, I need some help putting up this banner. And it was for a jazz festival. And I said, well, that's a sign. Because it literally was a sign. But anyways, so then I told him what was going on with me, and he just gave me the keys. And I lived in this little house, and I took care of the place. Okay, and there was a lady, Catherine Hughes, that she worked in refugee relief with Sudanese refugees. And millions of 2.2 million men were killed, and millions more women and children are enslaved underneath the fundamentalist Sudanese government that was allied with the U.S. oil company Talisman, because they wanted the oil rights, but all of these millions of people lived on the land. Mm-hmm. So the government said, you take whatever you want, even the people, but you turn the land rights over to us. And it was predominantly oil. There was some other uranium and gold, whatever, but it was mainly oil. That was the interest. So I read this article about this stuff that was in the back of the church, where the kitchen and stuff is, in the hall. And I was reading that, and I read what these people do to women, how they forcibly circumcise them with a knife. And I read, and it made me cry, and I was like, this is messed up. And I remembered the musicians I met when I first moved to Austin. This cat, Wisdom, who was from Nigeria. And I thought he was a reggae musician because I was an ignorant person. But he played Nigerian music, and he played some reggae too. But when I met him, I looked up at him, and he had a light around him. And I was like, wow, I never seen that before. And he goes, it's like Jah himself put you right in front of me. I was like, I see what you mean. He goes, you play guitar or something? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, go play something on the break. Because he was playing with Inkalaliku and these other people in Austin, Texas at Rutamaya. So then when I saw this article, I thought maybe we could have a benefit. And I'd never done that before. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's a good idea. And then I was sitting out, the church service got out, and I was playing my little guitar like this one, sitting outside. And Catherine was coming up to me, the lady that did the refugee relief work. And she came up, she goes, I want to talk to you. And I said, I want to talk to you too. I said, hey, we should do a music benefit. She goes, that's what I was going to say. So we organized this thing. We got live television coverage. We got Wisdom. The first thing we did was get the Southern Sudanese community together. And then, because you can't move ahead of these Africans, you got to move with them. You got to move together. Just like the music scene, we got to get it together. So we went and met Wisdom and them. So the musicians and the Sudanese, we linked up. Then we connected some community groups, the Red Cross of Texas. And we got live television coverage and some interviews and stuff. We got it together. So that's where I got into it. And then I started doing things like that for Zapatistas from Chiapas and homeless. I did a bunch of things here for Rockin' MDA for muscular dystrophy, and guys' night out, girls' night out. Just tons of things for all kinds of different things. There was an earthquake in India. We did stuff when my friend was trying to bring me to Australia to tour. He had a booking agent and place to stay and stuff. But then they had a big fire there, and that killed it. So we did a benefit for them. You know, I love fundraising and helping things that are good for the community, because that's important to me. Because we get caught up in these gigs and this music, and you got to get outside of yourself and do something positive with it, you know?
I love that. Yeah, I definitely know.
It's right here, man.
It's a great place here too. There's a lot of giving. There's a lot of places for that in Denver here. And yeah, no, we would love to as well. So we absolutely love working with nonprofits. There's a lot of great ones around here. So I absolutely love that you're highly involved in that. I want to hear one more. I know the time is kind of getting there, but I want to hear one more if you're okay.
I'll play this one, and if there's enough time, I'll play one more. If not,
you know what? Yeah, let's try to do that.
All right, here we go.
All right.
This is called "You Are There for Me." All my life, baby, seems I needed you. Trying so hard to find you in this too. Let me start this one over. I'm really sorry. All my life, baby, seems I needed you. Trying so hard to find you, this too. This too. This too. No mess, yes, I'm laid back in the sun. Tend to pay my dues. No, I love you blue. You were there for me when I had no family. Aimlessly walking the streets. Place to rest my weary head at night, baby. So alone, like a dog without a bone, I'm howling at the moon. 10 minutes to midnight, too soon. You know it's time to change your tune.
James Speiser, right there. Gotta love it. I love your voice too.
Thank you,
I think
man.
it's very good.
That's my main instrument.
That's your main instrument. I love it. You are there for me right there. You can catch James Speiser at the Edgewater Music Festival on June 21st. June 21st. That's a Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And the Edgewater Music Festival is going to be at Citizens Park in Edgewater, Colorado from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. A lot of great musicians there for a great benefit, helping out Habitat for Humanity, Metro Denver, and other affordable housing projects right there. Also, you can go to James's band site, rootsandrhythm.com, and check him out. So thank you very much for coming in. I absolutely love this. Yeah. And what I love about you is just you can really sense the old style blues, the Mississippi type style that you have, and I really love that.
Oh,
it's
thank you,
very
man.
cool. Yeah, definitely. Well, this interview, if you guys are just tuning in, do know that you can catch it on our social media. It's going to be out there for a month. On our YouTube, it's going to be there forever. So check this guy out. Do want to get to that other song because you did say you wanted to play another one. And,
Yeah, if it's cool.
Would love you to play us to close us out. And it's a pleasure speaking with you. And
Thank you
it's
so much,
awesome
man.
that you came in.
Thanks for having me. It's a blast.
You have such a
It's
cool
Buckwheat Blues.
Buckwheat Blues.
Buckwheat. He grew
Buckwheat.
up 5 blocks from James Brown's house.
All
and
right.
He learned from his bass player Bernard Odom.
You were telling him.
That's my best friend.
All right, sounds
I'm
good.
just across the border, Augusta, Georgia, baby. Riding all night in a fine machine, so tired. Hoping and praying that the phase of the moon shining right. Searching down that road with it in my second side, yeah, baby. Funky soul brother, do what you was born to do. Do it to the death, baby. Buckwheat Blues. Funky soul brother, do what you was born to do. Do it to the death, baby. Buckwheat Blues. Hit the Smoky Mountains at sunrise. Cheap motel check-in right now, so we'll be wise. Highway hypnosis, baby, from all those lines. One strong door into the dome. Love, just let me make it home, please. I'm just across the border, Augusta, Georgia, baby. Riding all night in a fire machine, so tired.
Buckwheat Blues by James Speiser. Thank you very much for coming in again. Absolutely love it. Stay tuned. We do have an afternoon mix of music, a nice little melting pot of different genres, and good stuff for your afternoon from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. After that, we do have another interview with Mr. Tim Odo. Tim Odo will be in to talk about mortgages, especially reverse mortgages. They get a bad rap out there, so you definitely want to tune in and see everything about that. Thank you very much for tuning in, and everybody have a wonderful afternoon. Till later.
Hope you told me good job.